for today. This power steering pump has been leaking. I replaced the lowered lines on a previous project because they had a leak somewhere else. So those are brand new, but it's leaking. So I don't think that guy down there is leaking. I think that might just be, well, I don't know. I drained the reservoir, so I'm going to pull this thing off, make a mess everywhere, and then I'm going to put gasket shellac on these hoses so it can't leak again. So that'll be fun. Let's get this thing out of here. You'll notice the reservoir is finally out. I got the two fittings down there wiped off. You can see them, one right there and one right there. A couple important things. First off, even though it's a sponge pit in here, you don't want to clean it until after you get the hoses back on, because you don't want to introduce contaminants into the power steering system. Second thing, the shellac has to go on the outside of these guys, not the inside of the tube, because when you shove it on, you don't want the gasket shellac into anything. And this stuff, this glorious stuff here, this is I've used this before on hoses. Actually, I've used it on these hoses. It is excellent. Now, I pity the person who has to get the hose off in the future. Probably myself, though. But yeah, it's really good stuff. So, reservoir's draining. Lines have been cleaned. Got my set of clamps. Let's do this. Okay, that's another job done. Hoses are in. Clamps are on. Really good and tight. The shellac should act as a crazy strong sealant, so I'm not really worried about them leaking, even if the clamps do come loose. The reservoir is empty right now. Actually, there's a bit of crud in there. But I'll refill this in a little bit once I give the shellac a little bit of time to cure. We should be good. Purging procedures to get all the air out. And done. I'm glad I took care of this. This thing's been leaking. When I put on the bumper, you could see it's all nice and oily down here. And just, yeah, look at this shit. I'm gonna have to clean this whole thing. Whatever. At least it shouldn't be leaking from here anymore. I still get a couple other leaks in there. Here's the winch. Right, it's been a couple hours. Shellac should be pretty dry. While I wait, I get these two LEDs installed. So, one of the holes didn't line up quite right. I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I'll drill it out. I'll figure out something. Anywho, time to fill this sucker back up with ATF. Oh, cobwebs are bad. Gutter did nuts on the max cold. Now to bleed, I have to fire her up, turn the steering wheel back and forth, get air out of the lines. There shouldn't be much because I only pulled from the top, so gravity should pull this fluid back down into places it needs to be. Let's fire up. You can hear the power steering pump screaming. Ooh, it's looking a little aerated. Give her a couple turns from side to side, see what she makes. Here we go. We want to go from lock to lock. There's one side. Holy shit, she keeps going. There's the other side. That should have gotten about most of the air out. Basically just top her off and that should do her. Fluid's a little darker than I'd perhaps like, but not horrible. Just a smidge. That should do her. So another little project. These goddamn things that hold the hood thing. Yeah, these things always break. That's why I got a huge bag of them. I've broken at least two on that truck, and probably one on the other. Something about plastic in hot places just doesn't go well. Nissan ought to stop doing this shit. The hole's a tight fit. There we go. That ought to do her. So. Ta-da! Oh. Don't forget the thumper. I think I got everything out of there. Overall, not a bad looking truck. Always remember to write all service stuff in the book. Done. Also, I like to keep little paperwork, like, you know, this tells me what spark plugs I use, and, you know, little things like that. Air filter, or is it air filter? I think that's air filter. Anyways, in the book. Makes it pretty good. And always keep that in the glove box. Need to replace that air filter, or cabin filter, but I'll get to that another day. Well, through the magic of editing, the part is here. It's almost as if it didn't take several weeks to get here, which was ridiculous for a part this tiny. Not exactly thrilled with how well built this thing is, but whatever. Same number of teeth, and I already checked fitment of the cable in here. And you can see side by side it is the same part. So let's get in there, get a whole bunch of lube in there. I don't like that there's really no bearing in this thing. That flat bottom section just rubs up against this piece of metal here. So I'm gonna fill her up all chocked full of lube, and yeah, hopefully that'll keep it from doing what it did the first time. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe this is an original part. So if it is, you know, it lasted, well, almost lasted from the 70s, so could have been worse. Okay, so this is it's a wheel bearing grease, and I got her packed in there pretty good. You know, the better gob, the better the job, and nothing like a good healthy dose of lube to keep things moving. So yeah, get this cover back on, get this thing screwed in. It'll be nice to actually know how fast the goddamn engine's turning. And I think that'd be kind of helpful. So yeah, let's get this sucker in there. Okay, initial pilot is drilled. Now I need to find a 17/64 drill bit so that I can use this, what is this guy? This is well, the camera's not going to pick it up for shit, but it's a 5/16 by 18 tap. And then we'll put this bolt in. And then about 20 tons of force. So yeah, that should be fun. Alrighty, let's go see what 20 tons can do. Alright, I'll add a little bit of heat. See if that helps anything. The good news is it started to move. The bad news is the bolt went crooked and is on the side. So let's see if I can get this bolt out. You can't really see it, but this bolt was sticking out quite a bit, and it basically shortened it to nothing. So yeah, we'll see if this bolt will actually come out. Jesus Christ, it's loud. Yeah, that's right. Easy there. Yes, I'm hiding behind the corner. Last little bit. This ought to get her out. The sun's right in the perfect spot to be annoying. Woo! She's out of there. Let's see. It's a little warm. Oh, that was a pain in the ass. Fucking thing. The glorious work of gluing conduit and digging trenches. So much fun. Okay. That right there is the conduit run for the pilaster. This will provide power for that. I know it looks kind of shallow there, but there's going to be a bunch of dirt on top of that because it's low in that section. And there's going to be step lighting in the walls that are going to be along here. And then I'll run it, it'll tee out, come along, and then follow the walls and then into the house for power.